This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post, coming to you from the Fort Hall School of Government in Nairobi, Kenya. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you may have missed this morning, but we also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 2nd of August 2022, and I am 2J.
I am Tom.
And I am JM. In case you missed the headlines this morning, here they are in the Daily Nation. President Raila, it's now or never. In the Standard, Baba it is. Uhuru says as DP warns police on leaflets. In the Star, elect DP RUTO at your own peril. Uhuru tells Mount Kenya. And in the People Daily, come out and vote. Kick us off, 2M.
Now, last week, Kikuyus in the Rift Valley woke up to leaflets warning them of dire consequences if they do not elect William Ruto. The leaflets read, Onyo, hapa North Rift, kura ni za William Ruto, na siyo tafadhali, hapa ni suti na lazima William ashinde. Kitaeleweka. Another one read, sisi wakaji wa Keses, tunaamrisha Wakikuyu wote kuondoka mara moja iwapo hawatamchagua William Ruto kama rais. Today, I want to address Kikuyus in the Rift Valley. Dear Kikuyus, if history is anything to go by, take the contents of those leaflets seriously. And I say this because since 1992, the precursor to violence against Kikuyus in Molo, in Eldoret, in Nakuru, Burnt Forest were leaflets. But more importantly, William Ruto has publicly voiced his issue with Kikuyus in the Rift Valley not once, but twice. In a viral clip, William Ruto told us that it was improper for Kikuyus from central Kenya to settle in Rift Valley and expect that everything will be okay. Here is a clip.
We go around and say, we want Kenyans to resettle. Kenyans, everybody has a right to live everywhere and own property anywhere. Really, let's be serious. And in Rift Valley, you will find, for example, a whole 5,000 acres inhabited from people who were brought from KIAMBAA. And they came to Rift Valley with the same name, KIAMBAA. You find another place, people who came from Rurigi in Central Province. Politics are very high-stakes game, like the way it is now. People are bound to fight.
That people are bound to fight. That people are bound to fight. And guess what? It did not take long. 35 women, your own mothers, were thrown into a burning church and barbecued alive. Fast forward a few years later, the same man stood on a podium and told the coastal people that no one in Kenya has more problems with Kikuyus than the Kalenjin. Here is a clip.
Mimi nauliza nyinyi, kama mko na shida na Wakikuyu, hamuko na shida na Wakikuyu kuliko sisi wa Kalenjin. Tuko na shida kubwa zaidi. Sawa sawa? Lakini ikifika mahali unatofautisha maneno, unaweka maneno ya tofauti za kijamii kando, unatafuta serikali kwanza, kwa sababu ile serikali itakusaidia kutatua matatizo ulio nayo.
Unatafuta serikali kwanza kwa sababu hiyo serikali itakusaidia kutatua matatizo yako. Loosely translated, the only way to sort out Kikuyus is to get government first, then we'll fix them. Today, I will shoot straight. You Rift Valley Kikuyus have been too casual. The same man has basically told you repeatedly that he will come for you and you're busy cheering him on. You dare put him in power, and you see what he will do. You dare have that chief hustler have the monopoly of violence, and you will see a real-life monster. And when push comes to shove this time around, when the church and when push comes to shove, even the church will offer you no protection. The church is firmly in his pocket. Kikuyus in Nakuru, in Eldoret, Molo, Kuresoi, Burnt Forest, you have 7 days to make up your mind. No, not your minds. You have 7 days to decide your destiny. You choose William Ruto and you are done. And don't ever say you were never warned.
Wow, gosh. So we have said before that William Ruto is a good student of history, and he has learned the most from the Arab Moi Playbook of mischief. But I want to believe that Ruto has also learned a thing or two from Baba Man. Raila Odinga has taught Mr. Ruto that bad behavior pays off and it is rewarded in plenty. Let me explain. In 2007, post-election violence brought Kenya to its knees. But in the end, country lost and politics won, with the biggest beneficiary being Raila Odinga. A whole government was reorganized and laws were put into place to make him prime minister.
That's correct.
Then in 2017, we experienced Africa's first nullified election and the longest electoral period in Kenya's history for a painful 123 days.
Yeah.
Raila responded by swearing himself in as the people's president, and again brought us to the edge of chaos. But Uhuru Kenyatta's handshake doctrine saved country, and again, the biggest beneficiary was Raila Odinga. What is my point here? Baba has proven that bad behavior pays off. This method works. And I think it is the playbook that Ruto is reading from. If you become a big enough nuisance to the state, it will not erase you, it will absorb you. So looking to August 9th and beyond, if Baba loses, he will go home.
Yep.
After all, he has done so 4 times before. But what of Ruto? Will he accept defeat and go home to Sugoi? In my opinion, no. And Ruto has told us as much.
Yes.
He has said, and it is on record,
Yeah.
that he will be a part of the next government.
Yeah.
Whether that is a threat or not, I will not speculate.
Yeah.
But the message is clear. William Ruto is telling us that he will do whatever it takes to remain in the warm embrace of the state. And this is because the stakes are too high for Ruto to accept defeat and go home. Remember, this man needs the presidency. It is how he will ensure his immunity when ICC comes knocking. So if Ruto has to swear himself in as the hustler's president or engineer for violence to erupt, he may just be desperate enough to do that. Baba has taught him that this method works. It is a man that has nothing to lose or is willing to lose everything to beat you that is the most dangerous. So it is possible then that when Ruto loses, and he will take the Samsonian option, hoping that his reward will be a seat at the table.
Yeah.
It's an option.
Absolutely.
That is an option. Now, today I would like to make an assessment of the Azimio versus UDA methodologies of campaign in laying the plans for this whole August election. According to Sun Tzu's Art of War, there are 7 constant factors that the opposing sides should compare themselves against to see who will emerge victorious. I will assess only 3 today. Sun Tzu says, if one competitor has a better understanding of these, then this will confer a huge benefit. If one has a weakness in just one area, then this is where attack will be most successful.
Right.
So let's assess. The first domain of assessment is values and morals. Sun Tzu says values and morals start from the very top and filter down. What the leader does, others will copy. So far, things are not going very well for UDA on this front. Last week, Rigathi Gachagua's 200 million was confiscated, demonstrating a great deal of moral bankruptcy.
Indeed.
Now, if those are the values and morals of Gachagua, then you can be sure they are also the values of the UDA presidential candidate, William Ruto. And should they form government, that will be the culture of government. I mean, let's assess the ministries that William Ruto was in charge of. I challenge you, dear viewers, dear Kenyans, supporters of UDA, to tell us one big thing his ministries in the Jubilee government 2013 all the way to date have achieved. List them down. Azimio, on the other hand, are far less checkered. So on values and morals, 1 to Azimio and 0 to UDA.
Oh yes.
The second domain. War is not won by fine words and dress, but by cunning and command. The true ability of generals will only be found out in practice, Sun Tzu says.
Yeah.
Let us be honest, RUTO has been all these things. He has had fine but empty words. He's had a sharp look and cunningness and sharp command to top it all.
Yes.
Targeting as well the two most important midwifing institutions for the election.
Yes.
He has taken control of IEBC, or so he thinks. Perhaps he has even attempted to persuade judges of the Supreme Court to sympathize with his political ideology. Who knows? Azimio has also been exceedingly smart on this front.
Yeah.
Although they have tended to campaign in prose rather than poetry, they have demonstrated credibility in their message. And what they have lost in message, surely they made up for with the choice of Martha Karua as the deputy presidential candidate.
Yes.
So on cunning and command, Azimio equalize at 1-1. The third and final domain of assessment, understanding the lay of the land. This is about terrain. In our context, this has to do with the voter base, the ethnic coalitions. Sun Tzu says, beware enemies who have strength in either. Sun Tzu, right? So by leaps and bounds, Azimio is in the lead.
Yes.
As we said on our damaging ignorance of last week, Baba is in the lead with at least 1 million votes from RUTO. 1 million votes away from RUTO. The 8 million and the 7 million. And this is on account of the KIAMBAA nation and at least 1/3 of Kema.
Yes.
UDA know they are the weakest side, and Sun Tzu cautions that when two armies are pitted against one another on equal terrain, the strongest will win. If you are weaker, what do? You avoid a direct fight.
Yes.
If you are stronger, you seek that direct fight.
Yes.
Now, because UDA know they are weaker on the ground, their game of primary thrust has been to take control of IBC and the Supreme Court, the people who count the votes. So on this, Azimio can count on the people who will vote, that is the Wananchi. UDA is banking on the people who will count the vote. But remember, ultimately, the state is on the side of Baba. So it will likely neutralize even these efforts of UDA. So Azimio here, 1, UDA 0. In sum, Azimio is in the lead. It's 3-1,
Yes.
making them the likely victors on August 9th. Round 1 victory.
And you can take that to the bank.
Absolutely. Now, we've got a 3-part criteria to assess the headlines. Topical or speculative, repetitive or groundbreaking, and thoughtful or just plain lazy. I think I was gravitating towards the Daily Nation.
I would agree.
I would agree.
President Raila.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that gives us our winning headline.
Yeah. Tuan, do you have a winning
Yes.
cartoon?
Winning cartoon is Gado, and I love this.
So describe it. Yeah.
Yes, caricature. It's a caricature of President Uhuru Kenyatta and Gado. And the cartoon depicts Gado resisting an open embrace from President Kenyatta.
Yeah.
And Gado responds by saying, no, Your Excellency. I'd like us to keep our distance even after retirement. Now, for those that do not know Gado's cartoon, or translating this, I think this is a compliment to Uhuru Kenyatta.
It
Yeah.
is.
It's a compliment to Uhuru Kenyatta.
No, and I appreciate that Gado has a sense of humor
Yes.
that's a bit self-deprecating.
Yes.
It's funny. I like it.
It's fantastic. I think winning cartoon is a standard Gado.
Absolutely.
The rest are nonsense.
Yeah. Good sense, good dose of humor there, folks. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are also on your TV screens. We're on Pang Free to Air, Go TV, and Star Times. We are also on various social media platforms. I'm on TikTok at Mainawa Kagema.
As always, you will find me right here on this table.
On Twitter at KMiner and TikTok at Kanda Bongo.
All right, have a good night.
God bless.